See, it's like rally status. All right, welcome back to the channel, folks. You're joining me on this snowy day in the DFW Metroplex. Some call it Snowmageddon. It's really just hard ice. And of course, I brought the CX-90 out to play in the snow. This is a 25,000 mile update. Right now I have 25,264 miles. You just saw me fill up. Apparently people are going crazy and losing their mind here in the snow, which is typical because when it rains here, people can't drive. So I guess the snow makes it a lot worse. But thankfully, a lot of people are being wise and staying off of the roads. Now, the big reason I wanted to record a video in the snow was because of how amazingly this thing drives. In my last video, I was talking about how much I am kind of disappointed in this car and how I long to get rid of it. But truth be told, it's actually phenomenal. It's incredibly safe. And when I think about the gas mileage and I think about what this all offers, I can't help but to think how fortunate I am to even have a vehicle like this. Now, here are some things that I really do appreciate. So the number one thing is going to be the gas mileage, because this is a plug-in hybrid. If you look right now, I'll zoom in, you can see that I'm averaging 55.8. That's been as high as 80 miles per gallon, which is the max, just depending on the summer. So in the winter time, like all electric vehicles, because again, this is a plug-in hybrid and it has a hybrid battery, or has a full electric battery, the range for the full electric depletes. So on a full charge, I can get 26 miles plus range. But this morning when I came out, I was getting, on a full charge, I had about 17 miles range. Right now it's in sport mode, which basically keeps the engine on the full time, keeps the transmission more aggressive, and uses the electric power as almost a supercharger. So I get the max power output of like 330 horsepower or so. But it won't use as much electric, or it won't use this car as like a hybrid type of car. But that's what I appreciate though, is the mileage. So I have the full electric range, and if you're just doing city driving, then you really don't have to use gas. There's been a time where we went a month and a half without having to fill up. So you're continuously just charging it. And then it also, even when you run out of electric battery, then it acts as a hybrid vehicle, which is a really cool feature and what I really love about this plug-in hybrid. I also appreciate the rear biased all-wheel drive system. Like especially here in the snow, I can really feel the difference. I mean, all-wheel drive in the snow is good in general, but this rear bias system gives you that rear-wheel drive feeling, as you may have seen in my video. This thing is easy to hoon around. It drives like a Subaru in a way. And I appreciate it. I do really like the sport mode here. I talked about how the electric acts as a supercharger, and it truthfully does. It gives you the electric torque on tap combined with the 4-cylinder engine, and it always feels fast, it always feels peppy. Now, due to the conditions, I'm not going to really get on it right here, especially, I mean, hello officer, respect your local authorities right up in front of me. But when you need to make a pass, as long as you're in sport, it's easy. Reliability. It's been incredibly reliable. Mazdas are reliable. I've owned plenty of Mazdas in my day. Now, if I say that the RX-7 is reliable, people will come for me. And yeah, my RX-7, my FC anyway, that had 150-something thousand miles on it. It was an NAFC, so those can last. But my RX-8, I went through 3 motors, so let's scratch that. I've had a Mazda Speed 3, Mazda 6, I've had an MX-5. Any of their piston engine cars have been incredibly reliable, and this has been reliable too. So maintenance costs are low. I've done standard oil change. I will probably, now I'm at 25,000 miles, I will probably do some pads. I've already done tires. You may have seen that in my previous video. I have the Bridgestone Alenzas on here, which are a more expensive tire than the factory, but the ride quality improved. And these are all seasons. Snow performance is absolutely good. Highly recommend these tires. Interior quality, well, it's held up. The CX-90 is the most premium offering that Mazda has. It's been pretty decent. All these materials are nice, soft touch. This is a premium, nice wood grain. I like this little center console split fold. It's decent. It's not like the German competitors, and my Acura MDX Type S had a better and more premium feeling. This kind of feels more like a Toyota that has nice leather materials, but not quite a Lexus. It's somewhere in between there. But it's great. It's nice, hard controls everywhere you need. I like that. I do like the way the shifter looks. I don't like, however, that the park is over to the left and then reverse and everything is straight down and up. But it's a decently built interior that's also purpose-built, because Mazda is a driver-focused company. The seats have held up to my abuse of getting in and out, my wife's abuse getting in and out, and then my son and everything that he does. So that's good. It's a little bit, the leather is a little bit hard, but it's rugged, and it still also maintains a level of comfort. So I don't ever really have back problems in these seats. I do like the color of this scheme, this grayish interior. There's a little bit of a golding kind of thing on the vents here. Just kind of gives it some depth to the interior. Those are the key things, I think. Now, for what I dislike thus far, the number one thing in this car is going to be the transmission. This is a 24 model, and it has a rough transmission. This thing will, if you drive it in normal mode or even EV, because it has I believe it's a dual clutch system, it shifts rough out of nowhere because it switches between the electric motor and the gas motor, and the programming doesn't quite have that figured out. So it will jolt you to the point to where if you have somebody that suffers with motion sickness like my wife, it will make them sick. So be aware of that. I think that they fixed it. I don't know. I can't confirm. In the later models, that's what I hear, but I cannot, again, confirm. So just be aware, be mindful of that. The infotainment system can be a little wonky, like all infotainment systems. My phone doesn't want to connect. Even right now, normally when I record a video, I'll let my phone connect anyway, but this is not connecting to my phone. So it is what it is. I can restart it and it'll fix it, but just be aware. The NVH, especially on the stock tires, is a bit high. I can't give you any official numbers, but my wife hates it. She misses the MDX that we had because she says the NVH, and if you don't know what NVH is, that's noise, vibration, and harshness. She says that the MDX was better. She's more sensitive to that than I am. I think it's okay, but again, she is sensitive. So if you have somebody that's sensitive towards NVH, be aware. What type of ice do we have here? Let's get it. Yeah, it's sticking. See, this all-wheel drive system, this car hooks and goes. This is hard ice on the ground. This is the slippery stuff, and the car is just hanging. I have to go back to something I like, the steering. It's weighted. I always mention it. It's good. It's driver-focused. The rear bias layout is driver-focused, and see, that's where this thing shines. An obese Miata. I have to always bring that up, too. It really is. After driving this in the snow, I feel so much respect for this car. See, it's like rally status. And the engine note actually sounds pretty good. Like when you really get on it, it does. It sounds quite appetizing for a four-banger. It sounds like it's working everything it's got. It almost sounds like a flat four, but it's really appealing to me. So because of the snow driving, I'm actually gonna give this a higher grade than I did last time because I don't always get to drive it in conditions. And my wife mainly drives it, but after really getting on it, let's say before I gave this a 7 out of 10, I give this car 8 out of 10 now. If they fix the transmission, if they improve the interior quality and do a little bit more in the way of reducing NVH, maybe some dual pane glass or acoustic glass, I'm sorry, that would be helpful. I think this also needs adaptive dampers because most cars, my Civic Type R has adaptive dampers. That's not a luxury car. Most cars I've owned recently in the last 10 years have had adaptive dampers. Mazda, I think, really missed it on that. I know that they want to tune it and give you what they think is applicable for all situations, but just having that adaptability, I think, would make sense for a lot of people. Because again, you have heavy steering, which I like, but I think for many drivers, if it was adaptive and your dampers would soften, your steering ratio or your steering weight would change, I think it would be more appealing. If you did those things that I mentioned, that would bring it up to like a 9. The interior space is great. The third row is great. Back seat's great with the captain chairs. I think the front is very handsome. I love the way the front looks. I love the way this thing looks on these stock wheels too. But I think if you change the back, Mazda, that bulbous design, it looks like a football helmet to me. Oh, we got big ice here. Improve the styling on the back. And you'd be dealing with a 10 out of 10 vehicle here if you keep the price where it's at, that kind of 55,000 sweet spot. And Mazda's getting really popular. Their sales are up. A lot more people are driving Mazdas. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments if you're considering a CX-90. We'll probably keep this. This is a lease. It's a 36,000 mile lease. We probably have another year in it. And we'll consider our options at that point in time. Maybe they'll have a refreshed model for 27. Or maybe we'll get into something else. I would love another MDX, maybe an X5, maybe an X7. What else are we considering? If we go big, maybe an Escalade. I don't know. I'm just fortunate that we even have a car like this we can enjoy. I'm very, very thankful. Be content in all things. This is a snowy day. You know, people are homeless. I pray for those souls that are homeless out there right now that don't have warmth. I pray for those that don't have heat in their house. I pray for those that have pipes that are bursted and that are dealing with calamities, or that have infirmities and they need machines and their power's out. These first world things are such a blessing, and I don't take them for granted. I try to be grateful in all things, and I fall short of that, you guys. I do. I fall short all the time. I grumble for things I shouldn't grumble about. But I thank you, God. I thank you for even bringing that realization to me. Be grateful of what we have. Anyway, if you found this helpful, like, comment, subscribe, the usual. This is YouTube. It helps. God bless you and your families. In Jesus' mighty name. I'm out.